Hi, welcome back to part two of editing BBCode in Dreamweaver. Let's just get right back where we were. Last thing we did was we made these guys here show up. As you can tell, Dreamweaver kind of messed with the sizes a bit. They're supposed to be 30 by 30. They're obviously not 30 by 30. I believe these are 32 by 32, and these are 40 something by 40 something. So we'll fix that later. First, let's go ahead and make the rest of the show up. So in our Adobe XD file, we have our subsection, which has this nice kind of rustish reddish color. We're going to set that as our background color. And up here, it's going to have most of the same properties as our title. So let's just go ahead and copy all the stuff about the text. We want the color, text align, all those properties here. It just saves time so you don't have to retype them all. Where were we? Right here. Color is still going to be white. I want to right align this text, and we don't want it to be bold. Remember, 400 is normal, 700 is bold. What size do we want to make it? Let's make it 15. 15 sounds good. Line height, we're going to make the same as our box, which is going to be 18, so that it centers the text. Now we are going to move on to the text. The text is, I guess we can just do this here. The text, we're going to add all of our formatting, which we can just copy paste this as well. Color, do we want it to be white? Let's make it white, yeah. Our text align, we're going to justify it so that it fills the whole block. Font weight, 400. Line height, what font are we going to? Let's go with 10-point font. So we'll go with 11-point line height. Padding, 5 pixels, that's fine. So, oh, and I want to text transform this so that it's lowercase. I forgot to add that up in these ones with our subsections. It's all going to be lowercase. We're going with laps lock here. Now let's go back down here. We need to add a background to our text. What color is our background? It's this brown color. Background color, paste. Now let's look at that. Okay, we have most of our stuff in there now. It's not exactly how it looks in the document, but we'll get there. We just have to add our little tag symbol, and there's no fill. It does have a border, 2 pixels, solid white. Okay, cool. Now let's make this not hideous. So, we're going to head on over here, and first things first, let's fix our little buttons to be the right size. So I wanted them to be 30 by 30. I don't know why Dreamweaver changed that, but we're going to edit that and just copy paste this into all of them. And let's see how that looks. A lot of this is iterative. It's going to be lots of back and forth, just checking how things look. So this top one and left one look right, or sorry, right one look right. These two in the middle look a little wonky, so let's see, what are the original dimensions on that? We have 470 and 233. Is that what they are in Dreamweaver? Let's check. 470 and 233. Yeah, that's right. It's clearly not right, but let's just nudge them over until we get something that looks about right. Let's move it left another 3. Let's move it down another 5. Okay, kind of. Let's just go ahead and make this 480. 480 might have been too much, but let's try it. Top, we'll go 238. Not enough. Let's go 240, and I actually am going to nudge this back a little bit to 278. Okay, that looks close. That looks almost right. Let's move our third one and see where that gets us. So we have, let's go 505. We'll go 270. Okay, that's looking better. A lot better. Let's move it back up a little bit. 268. Let's try that. Almost. We are so close. 265 maybe. Okay, so then we're just going to move, I think let's go ahead and move it back down and over a little bit, and then we'll move this guy to the left. So, gonna move it left, 507, move it down to 67, make it 268. If you want to know why I'm keeping the decimal values there, it's because I'm lazy. So, let's move this back left a little bit. Let's go 75. 75 is too much. Let's go 76, and let's move this up to 38. Okay, that's looking pretty good. I'll leave that like that for now because that's probably as close as we're gonna get. Let's look at these left guys here because that's obviously not correct. In here, they are 90 by 90. Over here, they are 93 by 93. Again, I don't know how that happens. Actually, no, I do know how that happens. Adobe Dreamweaver looks at the shadows and says, that's part of the object, when it's not. So, let's do the same thing that we did with our buttons. Drop them over here. Well, almost. Let's make them a little bit smaller. Let's go, let's go 80. See how that looks. 80 is closer. 80 might actually be what we're looking for, but let's go with 75 and see how that looks. This is definitely going to be so many more parts than I thought it would be, but that's fine. Let's go 70 and see if that centers it. It does. Cool. So let's just go with 70 for all of them. As you can probably tell, I don't value my design more than I value saving time. So there you go. That works. I think that's actually close to what I originally had. So let's leave it at that. Next we have these guys, which did not transfer properly, I don't think. 130? Are they 130? Let's check. They're not 130, they're 133. This is another problem that making your box shadows in Dreamweaver does. I'm still going to do it because I like visualizing it, but you don't have to if you don't want to have to deal with this hassle. Let's go ahead and shift all of these over because they're kind of close to this text box here. Or yeah, let's shift them over 5. So left, or 4, since this just makes it an even 90. 390, 356, and 390. That looks good to me. And then I also want to move them down just a little bit. Just 2 pixels should be good. And 260. Bet. So that's what it looks like so far. I was also supposed to move these, but I will do that when I'm off camera. It's very tedious. Same process. Um, yeah, next let's do this guy right here, because that's not what it looks like in here. We don't want it to span the whole thing. We want it to be its own little compartmentalized box. So let's go ahead and move it down to top. 75. Oh my goodness. 75. Let's go a little bit more. Yeah, we'll go a little bit more. Let's go 80, and then we can shorten this to be 300. Does that look about right? That looks about right to me. Alrighty, we'll keep it at 300. The tag, we do not want to be absolute. We want it to be relative, because instead of being in one fixed spot in the box, we want it to flow in our text. So we can just create a div tag and have that be in line with whatever we're typing, rather than having to write out the position every single time we want to use it. So it's going to be relative. Display inline. That makes it so that it doesn't span the whole width of the block. It just makes it in line with your text. Overflow and width, we're going to make auto. Height, we're going to make auto. That just makes it fit whatever text is inside of it. We can get rid of left and top. And then we want to add padding and margins. Let's go padding. So the way that these arguments work is if this is your box, it's going to ask for the top padding, then the right padding, then the bottom padding, then the left padding. If you just put one number, it sets it for all of them, but we don't want to do that. So top padding, we don't need. Right padding, or we probably will need it, but we don't need it right now. Top padding, let's go 0 pixels. Right padding, as you can see, Dreamweaver pulls it up for you. Right padding, let's go 5 pixels. Bottom padding, 0 pixels. Left padding, 5 pixels. Next, we want to add space between the tag and whatever text we put after it. So we're going to add a margin. Padding is for inside the block, margin is for outside the block. Margin right, let's go 3 pixels. Actually, no, let's go 5 pixels. I think that'll work. So we're just going to go ahead and take this div tag right here, drop it in our text block, and say name. We have a couple more properties to add that I forgot about. I always like having it uppercase, but for this layout, I'm going to make it all lowercase for the aesthetic. And then we also want to align it in the center. So let's go ahead and check that out. Cool. It did not do what I asked it to because I wrote uppercase. Nice. Perfect. Exactly what we want. Except that border might be too thick. So let's go ahead and make it 1 pixel. There we go. And we want to do what we did with the bars above, where we make it centered vertically. So we're going to go line height. Actually, we don't need that because we're auto-fitting the text, I think. So, I don't know. We'll find out later. Yeah, in our basics, in our sub one, let's put basics. This is our little subheader. There we go. It did what we wanted it to. This did not do what we wanted it to. So, we go back up to the title. Our line height. We'll figure that out later. Okay, I will see you guys in the next video. I have like 10 seconds left, so we'll get into all the box shadows and all the other properties. See ya!